Groovy.
Hello and welcome back to Small Screen Stories. I'm on my own for the minute. Here we go. That's it. That's the overlay I wanted to find. And welcome back to Small Screen Stories. I think I said that already. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are having a very good Wednesday. I am Edward Lauder. I'm the editor of Small Screen. And today's going to be an interesting show. It's going to be a pretty interesting show. But before I get into that, if you could all like and subscribe, that'd be wonderful. You can follow us all over the place, all over social media at Small Screen Co. You can also listen to this later on as a podcast. You can find that at Small Screen Stories. And you know what? I'm doing it. This is tea time, guys. This is tea time. I'm copying Sil. I know it's not good, but I'm doing it. And I will go over all your comments in a minute, but I need my tea. Right. What are we talking about today? Well, I think the main topic, as usual, is Zack Snyder's Justice League, or Zack Snyder's Justice League. You might recognize that from the voiceover of Super Team Megaforce. I hope you guys are doing very well. Let's get into the comments. We've got Soul Macker in the comments. And he's already talking about it. He's talking about the first review of Wonder Woman 1984 would have more than likely tanked viewership. You might be right, actually. You might be right. I said it multiple times before today that I did not much care for Wonder Woman 1984. Why? Because, well, I don't think it's a very good movie. I'm going to be honest with you. I really wanted to like it, and it wasn't that good. Zack Snyder's Justice League was much better. It's in a different class. It's a different class of movie. And people already in the comments. That James guy's in the comments. Kevin Feige's in the comments, and he says, "At least I'm not like Hamada." And you know what, Kevin? I agree with you. At least you're not like Hamada. I do apologize for my mad hair. I desperately tried to get it into some sort of. It's getting too long. I need to cut it. But yeah, so Kevin Feige isn't like Hamada. That's a good thing, isn't it? Geekosty Mag are in the comments. Warner Brothers using dirty tactics. I'll get into why they said that in a bit. And then we got, you know what? I can't pronounce your name. I'm going to just call you Danzig 1979. I hope that's right. James, small request for a clip on Super Team Megaforce on Friday. The what the fuck moment from Blade. You know what? I'm pretty sure James is going to put that down and is going to get that for you. James will be joining us later on. The beginning of this show might be a bit less mad than usual because it is just me, and I'm not as good as at bringing up the clips as he is. But what I will do is I'll bring this in for some people that might end up being in the comments in a minute. This is for you guys. Oh, it's not the right one. Oh dear, it's this one.
Cocainum.
What's going on? You know, this is why I need a producer, because I still haven't got used to using all these. He's put in so many. He's got so many clips, guys. So because we do Super Team Megaforce, we're using StreamYard, by the way. Because we do Super Team Megaforce using this as well, we put loads and loads of funny little clips in here like this one. That's something that he loves to put in, and this one.
I just have one quick question.
I'm basically just having fun with his clips at the moment. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into what I wanted to talk about today, and that's that.
I just have one quick question.
That's basically there have been some numbers revealed, and these numbers come from a company called Samba TV. So actually, if you were watching Sil's. Yeah, I do. Paul Hurst says I need more practice. You know what? I do need more practice. I'm going to be honest. This is a bit inside baseball, but I used to use OBS, and I was very good at using OBS. I got really into OBS, and then yeah, we went over to StreamYard. StreamYard is a lot easier. I'm going to be honest. This is very inside baseball, guys. And Danzig asks, question: what biscuits do you have with your tea? There's only one biscuit you can have, and that's a chocolate digestive. That's it, and it's chocolate side down, guys. I will say that chocolate side down. I don't have any with me at the moment because I am on a diet, so I'm trying not to eat as many chocolate biscuits as I used to. Right, Snyder Cut, yes. So we literally just published this article over on Small Screen right now. Zack Snyder's Snyder Cut. That's a difficult one to say. Warner Brothers spreading misleading viewing numbers. They are. Let me explain why. Yeah, I'm going all over the place. Water, tea, all sorts of stuff. So basically, there was an article. Well, there was an article in Deadline, which read the very first thing it said was that it basically. I'll get it up actually here. I should have had it up before, but so it said Zack Snyder's Justice League viewed by 1.8 million people. Here we go. It's such a negative way of starting things. But Zack Snyder's Justice League ranks behind Wonder Woman 1984 and HBO Max households. So that makes you think, okay, well, this obviously means that Zack Snyder's Justice League didn't perform very well, or didn't perform as well as they were hoping. Paul Hurst likes hobnobs, and Sol Macker likes hobnobs. I love chocolate hobnobs, so anything with chocolate on it, I like. James in the comments saying, "What's up? What's up, James?" And we've got Reese. We got Reese in the comments. Lovely seeing you back here, and this is for you.
Hello there.
So I'm getting better at it. I teed that one up for you, Reese. But basically, what's custard creams for me? This is turning into a very British conversation. But yes, custard creams are a good one as well. I do love a good custard cream. But that's making me hungry, and I've just had dinner. So let's move on from all that and onto the Snyder Cut. So what's been said? So this article, if you read this article in Deadline, they're basically saying, okay, so Justice League drew 1.8 million HBO Max households in its first 5 minutes over its premiere weekend, March 19th to March 21st. Then they go on about how Wonder Woman did 2.2 million 2.2 million US households tuned in to watch Wonder Woman in its first weekend on HBO Max. They're basically saying, and this comes from Samba TV. So what is Samba TV? Well, Samba TV is they're an analytics company, a data analytics company. And actually, the senior director of Samba TV was on Sill's channel earlier. Very good interview, actually. If you go over there, go over there and watch his interview. But basically, what this whole thing is, and it's really misleading, because first off, Wonder Woman 1984 came out on a Christmas weekend, which is notoriously huge for anything being released on TV specifically, but now it's become a bit of a box office hit time as well. So it's like it's a really big weekend, a really big an important weekend. One of the big one of the big movies or franchises that's really been occupying that space over the last couple of years has been the Star Wars franchise, and they've been doing really well at the box office. It's a time of the year when, I mean, most places in the world, not everywhere, not Australia, for instance, the weather's not great. People do like to go to the cinema when weather's pretty crap. And March is a specifically bad time to release movies. It's one of the worst. It's like kind of, what is it? February's another dumping ground. It's kind of references the dumping ground. So the mere fact that Justice League was viewed by 1.8 million people on HBO Max in the United States, again, this is not referenced at all in Deadline's article. Like the very beginning, so I'll read the first line. Samba TV reports that Zack Snyder's Justice League drew 1.8 million HBO Max households in its first 5 minutes over its premiere weekend. Yeah, all right. That makes you think that's the amount, 1.8 million on HBO Max. HBO Max, okay, first off, that is the number just in the US, okay? And there's if you read the article, I will go into it here, but that's just in the United States. So worldwide, that's not the number. So it's very misleading. And this article is another one of those articles that's come out just after Zack Snyder's Justice League was released, and is slanted in a pretty negative way. So this comes after the Variety article with Ann Sarnoff that we spoke about yesterday. We had Sill and Mikey on the show talking about that. You can go and watch that show now. Actually, that'd be wonderful. It's a really interesting one. But so what does this mean? Well, this means that it's just in the US, and it's just people that watch it on a TV, and a specific TV. So how does Samba TV get their information? And they're very open about this, by the way. Yeah, I mean, it's a useful metric to look at, but it's not the be-all and end-all. It's definitely not the final number. The number's probably, is not even probably, is much, much bigger than that. So basically what they do is all smart TVs, not all smart TVs, but a number of smart TVs, that the brands on their website, the brands that they work with are on their website, they basically have the Samba TV algorithm put into them to begin with, the ones that they work with, the companies that they work with. And it's a thing that you can either opt out or opt in of. from, sorry. And then basically what it does is it knows what app you're watching, and it knows what you're watching on the app and for how long. And that information, that data then gets sent to Samba TV, and then they analyze it. That's what they do. And there are lots of companies like that work around the world. And one of the reasons why they're able to get their numbers out so quickly is because actually the data they're working with is pretty limited. It's literally limited to people watching this on TVs that are specific brands and that have agreed to opting in to whatever it is you have to opt in on in the United. And this is United States specific. So this isn't the case with TVs over here in Europe, but it looks like they are going into it. I think they might have already in the UK as well, but in some parts of Europe. And one of the big things that when I was looking into this, so the brands included are brands like AOC, I think it's AOC, so that's a bit, Sony, TLC, TCL, Panasonic, Sharp, and LG. They're the big ones. But one of the biggest TV, like smart TV brands, is Samsung, and Samsung's not in there. And they're like one of the biggest sellers of TVs in the world. I think TCL are getting, but Panasonic, Sharp, who has a Sharp TV anymore? LG. They're all pretty big brands, but they're not the biggest. And this, again, it's not showing you how many people watched it on say a tablet, which I know is a terrible way to watch the Snyder Cut, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people watch it on a phone. But even the other thing is overhead projectors isn't involved in this. Laptops isn't involved in this. Computer screens, for instance, monitors. I know a lot of people that watch these things on monitors. Those numbers are not in this. This is strictly TV and smart TV specific, ones that have opted in to being allowed to have their data shared with third parties, which Samba TV is. They're a third party. So it's really missing Vizio and Samsung. So Vizio is another one actually, yeah. And so it's not on laptops or PCs. And so this is another thing. I'm pretty sure a lot of you in the chat probably watched Zack Snyder's Justice League on a laptop or or a monitor. So the numbers are so kind of skewed here that it's like they're not the actual numbers, and Deadline's reporting it as though those are the actual numbers. The other thing is this is literally just in the United States. This is just in the US. It's not anywhere else in the world. HBO Max is available in the US, but it's also, I mean, it's available in Asia. This doesn't cover Asia. It's available in other places, North America, say Canada, for instance, probably. Producer James will correct me on that. Parts of South America as well. Bat thirst. That scared the bejesus out of me. I was in full flow, but yeah. So those areas are not incorporated into this. That means that producer James is working behind the scenes. So yeah, these numbers it doesn't add up. The numbers don't add up. And again, this is nothing against Samba TV. This is literally, these are the numbers they reported. And also, again, that first line doesn't mention the United States at all. The headline doesn't mention the United States. And then if you go onto Samba TV on Instagram, the first thing they say is 1.8 million US households watched the Justice League Snyder Cut on HBO Max during its opening weekend. That's the story there. That's the story. 1.8 million US households watched it. There are probably more households that watched it than that. They did. I think the guy that, what's his name, Dr. Jeffrey. I've forgotten his last name, but the guy that was interviewed, I got his name somewhere here. I'm really sorry about this. I've blanked completely on his last name, but Silverman, Dr. Jeffrey Silverman, was interviewed on Sil's channel, and he made this very clear. He said that this is this. We're working with numbers that we have. We do kind of try and come up with some sort of kind of number that we think is correct. But then again, these things can be they can be skewed a bit. It happens. But then again, this number, you're literally going, Wonder Woman 1984 did 2.2 million in like literally peak season. If anything, Wonder Woman should have been viewed by more people. It should have been viewed by more people, to be honest, because there was a huge fanfare behind that movie. That movie was delayed. It finally came out. It also came out in cinemas as well, which is something that Zack Snyder's Justice League didn't have the benefit of. And then in the end, what ended up happening was they're actually very close. They're actually scarily close. And not only this, again, I said this in the article. You can go and read that right now. It's not about viewers. HBO Max don't care about viewership. What they care about are subscribers. So what would be more interesting, a more interesting metric, which I'm pretty sure only HBO Max is privy to, would be to know how many people before Zack Snyder's Justice League subscribed to HBO Max, and then compare that to how many people before Wonder Woman 1984 subscribed to HBO Max. One thing I'm pretty worried about at the moment, which I've been seeing a lot of, is people saying they're going to cancel their HBO Max subscriptions because of all this stuff with Ansanoff. And I would recommend you don't do that. Let's have a look at the comments. So Canada uses Crave instead of HBO Max. I didn't know that. So yeah, it's not in Canada. Then we got, this is another thing. Zack Snyder's Justice League came during March's, so, and it's still got a high, and that's true. And it's like, so in the UK, this is what I did as well. I paid £20 for Sky Cinema just for Zack Snyder alone, then pre-ordered the 4K Blu-ray and 4K Steelbook. This would be a steady stream of revenue. So yeah, there is a steady stream of revenue. So here Reese says HBO Max should also count the subscribers when Zack Snyder's Justice League got announced. You're right, they should. But ultimately, what we've been seeing is articles like this Deadline article coming out that just wants to that really skew the narrative towards Wonder Woman 1984 did really well. Zack Snyder's Justice League didn't do as well as Wonder Woman 1984, which is kind of them like really saying, well, this is why we greenlit Wonder Woman 3. It's not why that's not why they greenlit Wonder Woman 3. I mean, if Zack Snyder's Justice League had been anywhere near as bad as Wonder Woman 1984 was, I'm pretty sure everyone would have been like, you know what, we did it, that's fine. We saw it, it wasn't very good, so let's give it a rest. But the fact that so many people now are so adamant that they want to see more of the Snyderverse, I really can't think of that many people that want to see a Wonder Woman 3. I'm not even sure if Patty Jenkins wants to do a Wonder Woman 3. But there are lots.
Welcome to Super Team Megaforce. I am not Edward Lauder.
Oh man,
I didn't plan that at all.
I'm always in full flow, and then he does something like that. How are you doing, Sil?
I'm doing good. I had my my show earlier, and I take a nap after my show, so I'm rested up.
Good. I did mention your very good interview with Doctor. You have to remember
Doctor. Yeah,
Silverman.
Be careful with the.
But I was talking a lot about these numbers, and again, and mainly about the Deadline article, and how the Deadline article is really skewed towards basically saying Wonder Woman 1984 did really well, Zack Snyder's Justice League didn't do as well. And we just published an article on Small Screen about this, and it's
okay, good.
And the article, I'm going to have to credit James with this. He came up with this title: Zack Snyder's Snyder Cut, Warner Brothers spreading misleading viewer numbers, and I do. What's he doing? Seriously,
triggering me. No.
I know. And the numbers are like literally this is the first, and it's to do with this Deadline article, which I really do think is like we're seeing Variety come out with negative articles about the Justice League, and now this is the Deadline one. The very first article doesn't mention the fact that Samba TV's viewership numbers are literally just the United States, making it seem as though this is a worldwide figure. So Samba TV reports that Zack Snyder's Justice League drew 1.8 million HBO Max households in its first 5 minutes over its premiere weekend on March 19th to 21st. There's not a single mention of US households in the first line. They eventually get that figure ranks behind the 2.2 million US households who watched Wonder Woman 1984 on the streamer over in December 25th. And one thing actually that was really interesting about your interview, what's going on here? What are you doing?
No idea.
James, what are you doing?
Wow.
Oh man, I can't deal with this anymore, James. Get rid of it. I'm gonna remove it. Yeah, so basically, I'm sorry about this, Sil.
Oh, yeah, I'm chilling.
So basically what I was saying is that, again, this is something that Dr. Jeffrey brought up in your interview with him. He said well, the problem is that the thing that you have to factor in is the fact that Wonder Woman 1984 came out on December 25th, which is a notoriously good time to be releasing a movie
at home.
And at home, especially, yeah. And that release date has been for years now has been like the Star Wars movie release date, and those films have been doing really well. So and also March is a terrible time to be releasing a movie. It's like it's known as the dumping ground. It's kind of the time that movies are released to kind of almost die. It's like February, March time. So, and the other thing that's not mentioned is the fanfare that was put around Wonder Woman 1984. Like that movie was really, really pushed by Warner Bros.
Oh yeah.
And Zack Snyder's Justice League was leaked, wasn't really talked about, and then it still did these numbers.
Yeah.
And the article that I did, I was really talking more about how HBO Max doesn't care about viewership figures. That doesn't matter to them. What matters to them is subscriber numbers.
Yep.
And that's something that's a metric that we're not going to know. It's only going to come out of HBO
whenever
Max.
It's up to them when they want to bring that out.
Yeah. And then the other thing is the fact that if this whole thing is US centric, and we're not seeing. So we got Reese in the comments did the same thing as me. Bought he purchased the movie off Sky for 20 quid, so that's like $25, probably more actually. And it's just it's one of those like that's not factored in at all either. So how much that's quite a bit of money to spend on a movie. It's not as much as you'd spend if you went to the cinema, if you went with multiple people. But these numbers, we're not going to see these numbers, so we're not going to really know how well Justice League has ever done. This is the closest we'll probably come to it.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I got just like you said, my interview when I talked with Samba TV, and I've been in touch with their communications team actually too since the interview. And I informed them of the Deadline article because before I started the interview, I saw the Deadline article, and I told Dr. Silverman, I was like, if you don't, and I don't want to speak for some, but I don't want to speak for them. But I'm just saying, I just asked myself, maybe I'm not going to bring this article up because it's not representing your information, correctly. Yeah. And he was just kind of like, do what you do. So I didn't bring up the article at all, just to kind of not put him in a bad light. But they are aware Deadline misrepresented their information. So that's up to them how they're going to go forward. So that's good. They are aware of that. To compare a streaming movie in March to a Christmas release date is misleading to start with. Like Dr. Silverman said, compare it to us Falcon and Winter Soldier, compare it to March Madness, the college basketball event. I had to be reminded that was the same day the Snyder Cut came out, and it did wonderful, in that sporting event. And Falcon and Winter Soldier, Disney Plus. I don't know if you touched on this yet. They said this was their biggest opening weekend.
Yeah,
over Mandalorian. Yeah. So the fact that the Snyder Cut did, not gonna make this a battle, but Snyder Cut did better numbers than Falcon and Winter Soldier means this snapshot is letting you know there's a bigger number out there. And that's all Samba TV is doing, is give you an idea. When have we ever got numbers after opening weekend except box office?
Yeah.
So it's a good tool. Yeah.
This is definitely something that we're going to get more of moving forward when Samba TV starts to get more deals with other TV manufacturers. I was saying like Samsung's not in there, and they're one of the biggest the biggest manufacturers of TVs in the world. So they've got a lot of big ones, but also the other thing is that they're not in all markets. So until they are, like, I know a lot of people are probably a bit apprehensive about sharing about having their information shared with third parties, but to be honest, Samba TV is not a bad one to be sharing your information with, because they're just using it. It's just viewership numbers. It's like, well, what did you watch? I mean, this is already something that HBO Max will be tracking already, and Netflix is tracking already. So it's it's something that a lot of other companies are doing, and they've made it very clear on their website, on their Instagram, what this number is, what this viewing figure is. They don't compare it to Wonder Woman, and it's this Deadline article is another one where I'm just like, it's so blatant,
so misleading.
It's so blatant and so misleading, and you don't get to the 1.7 million that watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier until the almost the before last paragraph in the article, and that's really the metric that you should look at.
Yep,
is the fact that Disney Plus, which has a much larger subscriber base and it's worldwide than HBO Max, in the US had 1.7 million people tuning in. This is after WandaVision, which, and then basically Disney Plus and Marvel does this whole fanfare about, this is the biggest streamed MCU show we've had. It's the biggest streamed thing. Yeah, they're celebrating it. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, I'm not. And again, I'm not one of those people. And I had a bit of a rant about this last night, like yesterday, being like, I cannot believe what Warner Brothers is doing. It's just so blatant. It's like first off Deadline, first off Variety, now Deadline. Who's it going to be tomorrow? Probably the Hollywood Reporter. But they
will go around every trade. Yeah.
And it's really. It's so strange.
This is exposed to them. Things have been exposed today, and I was talking with other people too, just on social media, that this is starting to fall into the laps of HBO Max and Jason Kilar. Because if you're over all of this, I see Disney Plus celebrating, and they had lesser numbers than the Snyder Cut. Yeah. So I will be pounding my chest right now if I'm HBO Max, saying, look at these numbers. They're the full numbers that they have. These are how many subscribers we got this past week. So it's starting to fall on them. Like Warner Bros., we know they're idiots. So it's like, I get it. Okay. Get them. But, they got to, HBO Max has to step up now.
They really do. But also HBO Max is part of Warner Media. So I wonder whether this is... there's like a gagging order on literally on talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I do a show every week about this tree, and then someone else comes out and speaks out, and you're like, okay, let's adjust this organization tree. So I'm looking at Jason Kilar, like he's over all that. It's time to speak up.
So Jason Kilar, if you don't know, is the Warner Media CEO, and he's kind of he's not in charge of content. The one that's in charge of content, I forget his name.
Casey Boys.
And he's not said anything either. But
no, he doesn't talk.
He does. He just doesn't talk. So Ann Sarnoff is the CEO of Warner Media Studios. So she's literally just been promoted, I think. And I was always talking. Like I've actually had to talk to people about this on the site and on social media that are confused. They're literally confused. Like, one person was like, I thought Ann Sarnoff was in charge of content at HBO, and I was like, she's not. But she's at a position of authority, so that's and also
she's the chairman. Like she's making sure all the networks that Warner Media owns are playing nice together. Warner Brothers TV, Warner Brothers Pictures. She's like that. I use the analogy of her being like the coach. Jason Kilar is the GM. John Stankey's the owner. So that's kind of the level of power. So she can speak out and say, yes, I'm speaking for Warner Media, but there are people over her as well too. So.
Yeah, just want to say hi to Fatal J. We've got Fatal J. That's again, that's James. We all know that Fatal J is a big Dragon Ball Z fan. Like people, Ann Sarnoff is basically the babysitter. She's the babysitter that wants to own the house. It's like I think again, and a lot of people have said this here. Cisco's saying it in the chat as well. He says the tool trades are again being fed one-sided nonsense from Warner Brothers execs, Sarnoff, Hamada, same PR bullshit. They only fool the uninitiated. So it's kind. Honestly, at this juncture, I kind of agree with you. Like this is again, we said this yesterday. We have never seen anything like this come out of Marvel. We've never seen just think about all the crap that Kathleen Kennedy's got over at Lucasfilm, and that nothing happens there. Like nothing leaks. Whenever Kathleen Kennedy says anything, it's always positive. There's nothing. There's like a never anything negative about any of their projects. Even when like people leave and they disagree with people, like Lord and Miller, for instance, when they were doing the solo film. It was an amicable split, and everyone was friends. Now this, and the way it's done, it's like nothing. There's no there's no nuance in this article. There's no explanation as to why, like this Deadline article, why the numbers for Wonder Woman would be bigger. They were always going to be bigger. They were always going to be bigger. It was about how close could Zack Snyder's Justice League get, which it was
pretty close. And it's good that, you know, like I said, talking with Samba TV directly, they, you know, assured me they, you know, weren't trying to represent these numbers in any kind of way. Like Deadline, you know, literally. So Samba TV can be a tool. Let's say when Godzilla vs. Kong comes out and Warner Brothers tries to pump that up, Samba TV can easily pull the numbers and show, you know, comparisons, you know, and because apparently HBO Max isn't going to tell us the numbers. So, you know, if they come out and bloviate about Godzilla vs. Kong, Samba TV can say, well, the Snyder Cut still did better. You know what I mean? So I'm waiting for that.
I really don't know how. I hope, to be honest, for me, I'm really passionate about all these projects. I want to see Godzilla versus Kong do well. You know, I even at the time I was really hoping that Wonder Woman was going to be good. Wonder Woman 1984. I didn't like it. I'm going to be honest. I didn't like it when I watched it. I've not watched it again. I've now watched Zack Snyder's Justice League a second time today. Had it on. I've bought it for a second. I bought it for a second time. Can you believe it? I've spent £40 on this movie. So it's, you know, it's a lot of money. But I want it on my laptop, so I can watch it, you know, and you know, and this
is huge. You're saying it. I don't think people realize you weren't like your bar was not high going to see the Snyder Cut.
Oh, like, no. When we were talking about Super Team Megaforce, I was like, it's going to be me and TiVo on one side, and like, and you on the other. And then I was like, Mikey's going to be the one that we're not sure about. And in the
y'all
end,
liked it. Everyone liked
even TiVo, TiVo couldn't say that many. His negatives was I didn't like the music, and there was the music, and there's too much slow motion, which I would agree with. I would agree with that.
I mean,
that's his style. But it's like the more I think about it, the better that film is, and the more I think about it now, like especially seeing Warner Brothers' reaction to it, it's literally the dumbest thing they could have done in the world. Like it wouldn't have stopped them. It wouldn't have made any difference to them if they had just come out and been more positive about the film. There hasn't been a thank you, Zack. You know, no message like that, which I really think they should have done because of everything he's gone through. Doing this film basically for free, making this movie for free, even though they spent 70 million on it, but they kind of had to finish it. And it's like, what now? This now. And I was like, what? Honestly, when I saw this come out, and I saw it come out late last night, I think, for me, and I was like, oh, Samba TV. I've heard of Samba TV before because you know they've been doing this now for quite some time.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, 1.8 million US households on HBO Max. On a weekend that, let's be honest, is not a good weekend to be releasing things with very little marketing. Literally, Zack Snyder was a one-man marketing machine.
Even worse too now, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but just being reminded this was March Madness. You know, in this country, that's a huge event. Yeah, and I didn't even think of that. This is like the worst weekend Zack could have picked in March. And
did he pick it though, or did Warner Brothers say?
Who knows the real story with that, right? So the fact that this was all against it and it still did like great, you know, against Disney Plus as well. So they have a hit and they don't want to say it.
I know, it's so weird. It's so weird. Crazy. It's like any other time. Okay, one thing I will say is like let's this is completely theoretical. Let's think, okay, Zack Snyder, you know, the tragedy didn't happen in his family and he got to finish this movie himself. And you know, there was no Justice League. That was never a thing. That would be lovely. But then on like what would have happened then if it had been released in cinemas in 2017 and it would have been the Zack Snyder version back then? Like I do wonder whether if that had happened, we would have ended up getting a part 2, because just the mere fact that it was released in cinemas and now we're in this weird kind of limbo state where Warner Brothers has been going through all sorts of weird changes. Who was the guy before? Was it? There was someone before Hamada that was involved. Is it Fukunaga?
Well, Jeff Johns. Well,
not
Jeff Johns and Berg was in Hamada's position.
For what? Yeah, for
Sujihara was over all of that before.
Yeah. And then all these people, and then like what would I do wonder whether the overall kind of I think the movie that we got now would have been better than Zack Snyder's film had he released it himself in 2017, because that film would have been plagued by studio interference.
Yeah.
Well, this is the one good thing that's come out of this, is that we've actually got the purest version of Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah, well, yes, that's true. Like, that's a true statement. Like, the full 4-hour cut, I think only in this timeline we would have received it. But I do believe in 2017, if Zack never left, we would have got that studio mandated 2-hour cut. Then at IGN, Zack said that he was still shooting his Snyder cut the whole time, so that would have been an ultimate cut. It probably would have been 4 hours.
No,
but we would have gotten an extended cut. So he would have been playing the game the whole time, give you the theater cut, then get the ultimate cut when, at home. So it wouldn't have changed, but we got like full blown Zack Snyder, like and just quite honestly, maybe this is his last one. The way this is looking, because
exactly,
I'm surprised at the silence. I really am.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to, and I wonder whether he's been told now that he really can't talk to anybody. And like I wonder whether for him it's just like, okay, I just want to get out of this now. It's like being in a toxic relationship, and for him he just wants to move on. And I do wonder whether there's HBO Max is desperate to hold him and to keep the Snyderverse going, because they see the numbers.
They need to speak up.
They're not going to. They're not going to.
It's crazy. Like, if Samba TV is letting us know that this is a hit, why are they letting us know?
Yeah,
HBO Max should have been the first people yesterday to say something about that classic WB.
Yeah.
I know. So they had to figure out this whole silo tree they got in their company, because this is a mess right now, man.
This is a quite good question, actually. Do you think Warner Brothers are embarrassed at the success of Zack Snyder's Justice League? It's from Dan Zig. Probably.
It's crazy.
I mean, I think they made it very clear.
Success. Like, this is crazy.
But they wanted this film to, and then people will agree with them. Yeah, that's
crazy. Like, if we just think about that is crazy. You have a smash hit. It's a 4-hour film, and people are watching this more than anything this past week as far as movies, streaming. You don't own that. Like, that's crazy, man.
There's also a disconnect, a massive disconnect between Warner Brothers and the fandom, and I know we admitted this yesterday. There is a section of the fandom that is toxic, that went about things the wrong way. We know that, but then the vast majority of people that wanted to see this movie have been very, very like literally just hashtagging restore the Snyderverse. Come on, let's get this going. And it's just it hasn't really come down to. Like, literally, any fandom has trolls in it. Any fandom has nasty people in it. It proves that Warner Brothers are incompetent, and I agree with you. I agree with you, Danzig. But it's honestly, we've also got the sales, like the DVD sales for this movie, that I'm pretty sure will do quite well, actually.
After I get the physical disc, I may just cancel HBO Max at this point.
Yeah. Well, do you think that's the right thing to do?
I'm gonna get the disc first. I'm gonna watch the heck out of it right now while I can stream it, and then once I can own physical media, if I have no indication that this is continuing, I'm not supporting that platform. Like, that's crazy.
But is it the platform, or is it Warner Brothers? Because HBO Max can't really do much without Warner Brothers' say so, or Warner Media's say so.
Well, is that's the problem? Is how is this really sectioned off? If Jason Kilar is over all of this, then no one should be able to be telling him what he can say or not say, unless it's coming from AT&T directly.
Yeah,
So I'm just saying, HBO Max, as far as I'm concerned, it's under the purview of Jason Kilar along with everyone else.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I shouldn't. Samba TV shouldn't have been the first people to tell us this was a hit. That's the shame. That's the shame in all this.
Not only did they tell us it was a hit, which they did, they said it was a hit, but then Deadline releases an article being like, well, it didn't do quite as well as Wonder Woman. It's like, It's like, okay, fine, but then what one metric I'd like to see is how many repeat viewings did Wonder Woman get compared to Zack Snyder's Justice League?
Exactly. And that's something that, again, HBO Max has that data. I'm just saying, like, if they're not giving people an indication, like, I already see people on social media in the movement that's, kind of looking like what's next, what's going to come out next as far as what they say, because that's going to determine a lot going forward. I mean, so I don't know. It's crazy, man.
Like, literally, people are going mad in the chat about this. Like, Warner Brothers is generalizing, completely patronizing the fan base. It's true. Yeah, facts, as people like to say. Got people pre-ordering. So yeah, we saw this before, but yeah, Reese is pre-ordering Zack Snyder's Justice League from HMV. Wow, are they still around? That's like a UK based. I don't know what you have. I'm getting
my physical media, and like if I have no indication, like I'm out the HBO Max game. If they're not going to step up, man. That's
good, but that's what you should do. You should get the physical media, and then but that's unfortunately that is money in Warner Media's pockets. But,
I'll only take it because it's Zack, and then I'm gonna be a hardcore Netflix fan going forward.
I think it's possible that the Snyderverse can still continue through comic books. Well, I think Jim Lee's probably interested in that. He's already said he's interested in doing something like that. So maybe that is maybe that's the way forwards. And I know Zack Snyder's been interested in writing a comic book. So again, DC Comics, don't think of DC Comics as being really the same as Warner Media. If anything, AT&T looks like they're going to be selling DC Comics off. So it's
that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other story. It's just like, oh my God, seriously,
it's crazy, guys. Man. I mean, with the first statement, I think your previous show you touched on this, that after the weekend of the Snyder Cut, the first thing we heard from Warner Brothers or Warner Media was Ann Sernoff, saying, well, that's great. We're sending Zack off to the sunset, and no air cut, and some of you fans suck. And that's the whole article. It's like, what? Like, what? Why is this the first thing you're telling me after the Snyder Cut comes out? It's weird.
That is the best, that's
that was the whole article.
That's the whole article. That's literally the whole article. Oh, and then the end of it is that Hamada's great. Like, and diversity, and it's like, okay, well, your most diverse movie was
and I do,
and you're gonna like it. We're gonna give you what we want. You're gonna like it.
Hamada in his little red room going,
and I do think that moving forward, there's.
Do you think he looks a bit like Michael Jackson?
I actually did tint that red, Edward. So nice observation.
You did.
Yeah,
right.
I gotta make him look as evil as possible, right?
I mean,
it's the weirdest thing, man. You have a smash hit, like someone said in the chat. The word of mouth is insane. For the Snyder Cut, which is what the fandom needed. We needed, people like Edward, like, Hamadaverse. This is what's coming. They rather the Hamadaverse. Hamada's not going anywhere. All these firing Hamada and no, they're not going anywhere.
The Hamadaverse. It's
the stupidest thing you've heard, right?
Yeah, hold on. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you guys, but let me do this properly now.
He was desperate to do that.
Hamadaverse.
So is that fellas? What I think he's saying, is that it? No Justice League 2 on HBO Max either. One of the problems with Warner Media, honestly, this is from someone that's been covering them for years, is they are so reactionary. That they will be greenlighting and then dumping projects within the hour, literally within the, like, they're kind of still kind of an old school type movie studio in that sense, where it's like if one person at the studio that's in a position of power doesn't like it, they do have the power to just say this isn't happening. And at the moment, that's Ansanoff. At the moment, that is Ansanoff, and Walter Hamada is very much behind the scenes and hasn't really said much
for him. Yeah, she speaks.
And she's the spokesperson. That's what she is. That's basically what she is. She's the spokesperson. So a lot of this you could probably say is coming directly from Hamada.
Yeah, this is Hamada. Yeah.
You ever danced with Hamada in the pale moonlight? What's the matter with you? Man. What's the matter with you?
But I mean, I will say I know we're a little doom and gloom. I'm only a little irritated because again, talking with Samba TV today and just them talking up the information they're getting. I'm like, if I own the company that has those numbers, I would have spread that out all week, already. Yeah. You would have known that I have a smash hit, just like Disney Plus is doing. So the fact that they're not, it peeves me a little bit, just a little bit. But I do believe what Mikey Sutton said is that there is still a chance for Zack to do more. But whatever they got to get straightened out, they better figure this out really quick. Because I'm just saying, I just spoke with some people that's in the fandom. Yeah, some influential people in the fandom, and HBO Max really needs to speak up really soon this week because it's going to get weird.
Yeah.
You're totally right, because if you think about all the things that come out on streaming now, like Netflix, whenever something's big, like we saw it with Bridgerton, with The Witcher, we saw it with like literally every Netflix show that was an original that came out this year. It's the biggest show ever. It's incredible. This is literally this is a win for Zack Snyder's Justice League, and there's nothing, and it really wouldn't have cost them a lot. It wouldn't have cost them a lot it would have actually gained them fans if they'd been like, this has been doing really good numbers. We're really happy with the amount that it's been doing. Literally, it couldn't have done any better than what it's been doing. Let's be honest, because it's HBO Max is a platform that's not available everywhere in the world. The release strategy was weird. We literally didn't know really when it was going to be released internationally until Zack Snyder said, I think he tweeted something, and that was it. And it's embarrassing.
Zack had to tell us.
Yeah, the literally director had to. Would you honestly? Would you think that that a Martin Scorsese or a Quentin Tarantino would have to announce the release date of his movie?
It's like it's not their job. Like Christopher Nolan, this whole time when they were moving the dates back, Nolan wasn't telling us when we're pushing it back because of COVID or whatever. It was up to the marketing team of Warner Brothers, and they kept doing it. They kept updating. So why are you putting Zack in this situation? And a few months back, again, someone that's I guess close to Zack in the movement, they said that Zack was like, why this isn't even my job.
Yeah,
to do he wants us to know when it's coming, but he's like, this is ridiculous that I have to be the one to tell you. It's crazy.
It's crazy, and I wonder whether it's because they were cutting. There was budget cuts, so they were like, okay, well, we're not paying Zack, so let's get him to do the marketing as well.
Well, they're marketing the heck out of Godzilla vs. Kong, though.
I know it's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. And now the other thing that's happening that is worrying me, which actually we wrote about on Small Screen today, is that it looks like we might not actually get to see Michael Keaton back as Batman. And I hope not now. This is another thing.
Don't bullshit me.
It's not. I'm not bullshitting you, man.
Real thing. It's
not.
A real thing.
It's literally a real thing. He did an interview.
The hell with you.
Did an interview with Deadline. It was Deadline.
Put that cookie down now.
Yeah. So basically, he said he was unsure. Well, that's kind of what he said, and the reason being is COVID. That's the reason. He said, I'm. It's a good excuse. But I think the reason is probably they're not going to pay him the amount he wanted. But like he said,
crap. That's why the movie's going to be crap.
He said, to be honest with you, what worries me more than anything. So wait, it's COVID. I'm more concerned. I'm more concerned. I keep an eye on the COVID situation in the UK than anything. That will determine everything. So that's why I'm living outside the city here on 17 acres. That's nice. You definitely want to get COVID there. Staying away from everybody because the COVID thing has really got me concerned. So that's my first thing about all projects. I look at it and go, is this going to kill me? Literally. And if it doesn't, then we talk. So he's kind of, and he said he's got the he said, I'll tell you the truth. Somewhere on my iPad is an iteration of the whole Flash thing that I haven't had the time yet. He hasn't read the bloody script.
You've been in lockdown this whole time, Eden.
I called them and said, I have to be honest with you, I can't look at anything right now. he's going through an existential crisis. He's like, I'm in 17 acres and I don't know what to do, and I'm scared of COVID. And it's like literally, it's like what he's honestly. This whole interview to me is like he's thinking, what can I use as an excuse?
It's negotiating. This is what this is.
Like I do wonder whether he's up to his price, because this was announced.
They need him.
Yeah, they need him so much. They need him desperately.
If I'm Ben Affleck, I will pull the same thing. COVID. I can't make it.
He's getting up there too, right? Like there are people that are really concerned about it.
Oh yeah, I'm not discounting that at all. But I mean, I will say, go ahead, Edward.
No, he's got a right to be concerned. He has got a right to be concerned. But then again, the UK has a good vaccination program.
Well, that's what I was about to say. This film is done. This is one of the safest places in the world right now. UK to film right now.
Yeah.
Is
so
UK.
Apart from New Zealand.
New Zealand's right. I guess it's the top because they don't have COVID at all somehow.
And Australia, they're two.
Like, let's buy some land out there.
He's got boatloads of cash, though, right? So
he's probably getting boatloads of cash to do this film. He's like,
I think he wants more.
Another zero.
Just imagine because what I was told with this Flash, if people that has been, following my Patreon, I've been updating the production information. Michael Keaton is basically second in line in this movie. It's Ezra Miller and it's Michael Keaton. So he has a huge part in this film already. So I don't believe he didn't read the script. I don't believe that at all.
I bet you he hasn't. I bet you he hasn't.
If he drops out of this film collapses.
Yeah,
seriously.
It's like because if he drops out, then what's the point of having Ben Affleck's Batman? Because actually, the whole thing is a multiverse movie, and you see multiple iterations of different characters. I bet you they approached Christian Bale for this film as well, and I bet you it was an immediate no.
He wanted that Marvel money.
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna do. Yeah, but then we got some funny comments. Reese says someone convinced Keaton to leak the script. I think you should. That would be a brilliant thing. Someone vaccinate Michael Keaton. And then it's like he's Batman though, so just punch COVID in the face. And then he also just says Hamada. So Hamada's
Wait, who is the villain of the movie? Hamada.
Crazy.
I think it's Reverse Flash, but honestly,
I've heard nothing about Reverse Flash yet, which is weird.
I think it might be Reverse Flash, but then again, it's like if this movie doesn't have Michael Keaton as Batman, then what's the point of seeing this movie? The
script falls apart.
Do you really want to see a movie involving? I mean, I like the Snyder Cut, but literally the most annoying character in the movie is the leads. So I'm not sure if that many people want to see that. I'm going to be honest.
I mean, I think the hype went up for this film when they said, Batfleck will be there, Michael Keaton. Yeah. But Michael Keaton will be in there more. That press release didn't say that, but that's the truth. Michael Keaton is supposed to have a huge part. This movie falls apart if Keaton's not a part. They have to rewrite the script like right now if Michael Keaton's not in it. That's like New Gods level.
I mean, seriously, like if I read this. What does this mean? I don't know what this. What this?
That's from a Dave Chappelle show. It just basically,
Cocaine.
I haven't watched the Dave Chappelle show. He didn't want people to watch it, did he?
He got a new deal, so he's okay with people watching.
Okay. He's okay, man.
Yeah, so you're allowed to watch it now. But Rick James will always say that when like he's forgetful and that he's enacting or reenacting Rick James, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, that's a saying where if he like forgets something or does something crazy, cocaine's a hell of a drug. Just blame it on cocaine.
Chappelle's a god.
Yeah, that was peak television right there.
Yep.
Wait, we got to bring this one up. Here we go. Amber Heard is on standby for the Flash. She's bringing in a different accent. No, but actually, what I know that if it does feel like this is me kind of shitting all over Amber Heard, I will say one thing about one thing about that nightmare sequence. One thing about the nightmare sequence.
Not shitting on you.
She might shit on your bed first though.
She's terrible in that scene. She's terrible in it. And what I will defeat all people. And then she's going around with 2 bloody boxes of water. I'm like, so you're only useful if you carry around 2 bloody boxes of water in a fucking nightmare.
But she's wearing the shit out of that suit though, son.
Yeah, that's not an excuse. Her character in that scene is useless. This was literally Sil Abdul's face watching that whole thing. He's like, I'm not coming on this show anymore.
Stop whining.
he went off.
But South African Amber Heard, we're going to get South African Amber Heard in the Flash. You know, she's going to
pull it off.
No, she
I'm
can't.
a fan of Amber Heard. I mean, I'm not saying. I know she's probably a crappy. No pun intended. She's probably a crappy person, in real life. But hey, I like her as Mara.
Oh man,
What?
Yeah, man, loads of people agree with me in the chat. Like Amber Heard's accent was so fucking distracting. Well, I can't remember. She says her words in the most bizarre way. I'm like, nobody in the world says it that way, but Amber Heard does as a British accent. I really don't get that. And people do think she's sexy though, so fine. But again, one of the things that actually, upon rewatching the film Justice League, the way the film is shot, you wouldn't know that Amber Heard's mirror is supposed to have red hair, would you? It looks kind of blonde in that.
That's a James Wan thing, though.
Yeah, but that's what threw me off when I first saw the film the first time. It really threw me off because I was like, "Is that Mira? Is that meant to be Mira?" Because I was like, the accent was weird, and I was like, "Oh, maybe they actually." I was watching it. I was like, "Dude, did they actually recast her?" And then everyone was like, "Oh no, she's in the movie," but no, it's actually. I told you this before. I thought it was Emily Blunt the first time I was watching it, and then the accent really started to kick in, and I was like, "Oh, okay, no, it's her." And then I recognized
that's
her.
how Zack originally intended Mara, and then James Wan after Zack left, James Wan changed it.
Yeah. And it's the muted color palette of the film. It kind of messed around with some of the hair color, and it just threw me off a bit.
Well, no, James Wan made it like full red. Yeah. It wasn't no.
I remember when we first saw the pictures of Amber Heard as Mira, and it was in Zack Snyder's Justice League. It was very muted, and then it was very much changed. But I suppose I don't know, just used to seeing pictures of her in the Aquaman film. But it's like
it was like Inhumans red. It was that red.
Yeah, it was so. Yes, it was. It was
in
so
James Wan.
In James Wan's one.
Yeah. He was full red. Yeah.
But still, do you ever remember that red wig from Inhumans? How red it was. How bad.
Don't even remind me of that show.
Actually, talking of Marvel,
it's off like 2 minutes.
Shall we move on to Marvel? I want to get your opinion on this. Black Widow is being released on Disney Plus at the same time as theaters. So you're happy about that?
Adapt or die. I mean, they should have done this. They should have been doing this in May coming up. I don't know why they're waiting for July.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I when I was slightly shocked, to be honest, because Disney was really, really going, no, we're going to be releasing this movie in cinemas. It's going to be good. It's going to be fine. And then we got closer and closer and closer to release date. It was the only thing they could really do, and they're going to put it on Premier Access. So we're going to have to pay for it. I'm
gonna plunge now for that because we got to have a good review together on that. So
we'll definitely have. But I've actually bought, I think, all of the Premier Access
movies
on Disney Plus. I watched Raya and the Last Dragon. I bought that, which is brilliant.
I was waiting that one out. I heard it was good, but
it's so good, that film. I really loved it, and I bought Mulan, which isn't good.
Yeah, I'm glad
I still haven't seen that.
Mulan is terrible.
That's on Disney Plus now, so
yeah, it's so bad. But I kind of bought it. I think we were going around like on holiday, and I was like, I want to watch this film because I was interested in seeing it, and I love the cartoon. But this, Raya and the Last Dragon is really good. There's going to be a review coming out tomorrow, I think, on small screen, and I'm giving it a big score. But this, honestly, this film Black Widow has been so long coming. It's kind of like not ruined, but it's kind of really messed up the MCU in a way, because this film was supposed to come out before everything else. And then it was going to be Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then it was going to be WandaVision. So really
imagine that if it would have been like that, because I think the hype was going to be there, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And then you come with the WandaVision. I think that that it would have almost doubled the WandaVision numbers that it already did, because that hype would have been there. The WandaVision was not supposed to lead off the phase.
No.
You know, and I think in hindsight they're going to look at, they're like, man, like we kind of didn't stick the landing with that.
But it was going to be like it was going to be a lead in from Black Widow into Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
right?
And kind of the weirdness of WandaVision,
right?
And I think that would have been a better way to do it, but they had to, you know, they had to make do with what they had. And then what else do we have? We have okay, so basically what I'm going to do now is I did this on the site, and I did a bunch of articles which are all from a leak. And it's a leak from an awful website called 4chan. Now, 4chan is a terrible website. If you know about 4chan, it's awful. Terrible people go, you know, it's horrible. But for some reason, there's this leaker that likes to put stuff on 4chan. And he posted, I'm assuming it's a he, but probably is a she, whoever. They posted on 4chan a bunch of like supposed leaks of the MCU. So here we go. Let's go through them one by one and get your live reactions to them.
Right.
Liv Tyler reportedly returning as Betty Ross in the She-Hulk series. All right, fine. I don't think he cares. Naomi Scott reportedly in talks for a role in Moon Knight. Do you know who Naomi Scott is?
I can actually see that. She was in Aladdin.
Yeah, she was in Aladdin.
I can see her getting more Disney money. So yeah, I can see that.
Mo Disney money. Of course, she did Aladdin, so they like her, don't they? They like her there. Disney money. I did ask around, and that one is apparently true. So
really? I can believe that.
True. This next,
she's solid. You know,
I think, you know what? I'm going to be. I think
she's not the best actress, but
I think Naomi Scott has been in a lot of bad movies, but is actually really quite good in them. So she was in the Power Rangers film.
She was actually good in the Power Rangers.
She was good in the Power Rangers.
That's actually a good movie. People need to rewatch that.
It's fine.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Apart from the weird Rita stuff and the fact that the film is so obviously
the worst part of the film was Rita.
And the fact that she does a bit in that movie where it's just the worst product placement I've ever seen, but also the best because
Krispy Kreme.
We have to go to the Krusty Kreme.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, wow, seriously. But yeah, Naomi Scott is. I think she's a really good actor. And Red Ranger thinks so too. Of course you do. You're called Red Ranger. So of course you like Naomi Scott.
Fantastic in Power Rangers. Okay.
She's brilliant. She is brilliant in Power Rangers. And it's not a train wreck.
Stop whining.
It's not a train wreck. I actually really. There's if you go back, one of the very first small screen stories we did, it was with me and Fred, who you saw on Super Team Megaforce. We spoke about Power Rangers, and we both liked it quite a bit. But yeah, she's good. And what else was she? She was in the Charlie's Angels reboot, which is another film that wasn't very good. Well, actually, that film was genuinely terrible. But I didn't
finish. I couldn't finish that movie. Yeah.
All right, so we're saying this is a good thing, right? That she's
I like her.
And if that's starring Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight and Ethan Hawke as the villain. So that's going to be really
solid cast.
Yeah, solid cast. So the other bit is Sam Rockwell reportedly returned as Justin Hammer in Armor Wars. So he was last seen in Iron Man 2. So he's coming back. What do you think about that?
That name gets tossed around a lot. Is that a name that's always out there?
What, Sam Rockwell?
Yeah, for some reason I keep hearing him rumored with everything. I mean, it's not going to matter, you know. I just don't think his character is going to matter, you know. I mean, I could believe it because it's ties to Iron Man 2, so I could believe it.
If you look how the MCU took other characters that you'd think wouldn't matter, and then they expanded them, and then they became a big part of the franchise.
And WandaVision,
and Sam Rockwell is a fantastic actor.
He's such a good actor.
Like, I don't know if you ever seen the one he did directed by George Clooney, where what was that called? That where he's a game show host of the Gong Show, but he's actually secretly a CIA agent.
I haven't seen that. I don't think I've seen
Oh man, it's so good. I gotta look that up for
My
you.
problem is he wasn't used well in Iron Man 2. That's what I mean.
Iron Man 2
Iron Man 2
is a bad. It's a bad film.
It wasn't like really his fault. Like you put him in any role usually, and he could do like fantastic work. So if they get him for Armor Wars, which I can see them trying, it could really, really work well. So
yeah,
hopefully so.
This is another thing that I was asking around, and apparently they are in talks with him. So he also, I was told he's actually going to have quite a big role in Armor Wars, and he won't be the villain, which is that he was kind of the villain in Iron Man 2, but also not really. Right, he kind of was just a bit of an idiot. and quite naive. And it was I can't remember his name now. The Mickey Rourke, who was the villain in that film, which wasn't very good.
That's what Reese said right there. Sam Rockwell. I think they were just talking about him for Dr. Fate, I believe. So if he goes,
probably, yeah,
or Sam Rockwell type.
Yeah, but he was. They like that, don't they?
I hate what they say.
Yeah.
Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Was he also in The Men Who Stare at Goats? Was he in that film as well? Sam Rockwell.
George Clooney was. I don't think Sam Rockwell was.
Okay, and then he was the film that he's brilliant in is Moon. That's Duncan Jones's film. That is an incredible film.
He was also in Welcome to Collingwood, which was the Russo brothers' first film with George Clooney.
Yes, and also more recently in Taika Waititi's film. What was that called again? Jojo Rabbit, and he's really good in that. Yeah. So he's a really good actor, and I think he needs to come back to the MCU. He's too good, really, to just not be done. Like for them to just leave him and not do anything with him. And then, and the character's a big character in the comics. He's quite important. And again, Armor Wars is going to be about Tony Stark technology, and one thing you can bring in is Justin Hammer, because that's kind of what he's all about. All right, final bit of news for you, Sil, is that Denzel Washington is reportedly in talks to star in Black Panther 2. Yeah, you laugh, James. You laugh, James, but this is another one that I was told is actually happening.
I know. I've just been waiting to use that clip through the whole
But with Black Panther, it's like insert black actor name or actress name and say they're rumored to be. But it's like, okay,
yeah, but I think this is something that apparently Denzel Washington has actually asked to be in, and Ryan Coogler has a role in mind for him. This is what I was told, and if Denzel asks you,
you're going to figure out a role for Denzel. I don't care. You know?
I can't do the laugh. You need to come up with that, James. A Denzel Washington laugh. It's so good. Yeah, he's so good.
No, I believe he has a good connection with Michael B. Jordan. Actually, just like professionally, and Chadwick Boseman idolized Denzel Washington. Before his untimely death. So it makes sense he'll want to kind of pay that back and honor Chadwick Boseman in a way. Being in Black Panther 2. So.
I'm gonna have to address this. Cisco's not happy with us. Guys hate on Heard, but like Scott.
What?
Naomi Scott.
Stop whining.
I like both of them.
I've never said that I dislike Amber Heard. I just think in that role. No. In that. No, but actually, what I know that if it does feel like this is me kind of shitting all over Amber Heard, but I will say one thing about one thing about that nightmare sequence. One thing about the nightmare sequence.
I'm not shitting on you.
She might shit on your bed first, though.
She's terrible in that scene. She's terrible in it. And what I will defeat all people. And then she's going around with 2 bloody boxes of water. I'm like, so you're only useful if you carry around 2 bloody boxes of water in a fucking nightmare.
But she's wearing the shit out of that suit, though, son.
Yeah, that's not an excuse. Her character in that scene is useless. Her character in that scene is useless. That's what I said.
Danzig called it.
Come on. There we have it. That's what you've been doing.
Oh man.
So honestly, guys, if you come on, sir, we need to get this out of you. Can you look at that scene objectively and say she is good in that scene?
I like that scene. I like the context.
Yes. We get
you're talking about the nightmare scene, right?
Yes, we get that you like the scene, but her in that scene,
I thought it was great. I thought she was really good. Like I said, she's a character.
How much are they? You thought she was really good.
Yeah, I thought she was good in that scene.
You lie!
I actually thought she was good.
Oh man, what about you, James?
This is what Zack wanted.
Be honest, am I the only one?
I don't think it stands out as bad as you say. I don't see that.
If I remembered how she really was in Aquaman, like you did, and then the voice was different, then it would bother me. And also, she played such a small part I did find it funny though that she was walking around with the 2 jugs of water. That's what stuck out to me the most. Like everything is scorched and there's no water at all, but yet there's Mara there just because, right? Like they wanted to film her or whatever. Like you could have put anyone else in there, right? That didn't have that crippling water thing, you know. And why isn't the Flash going to hunt down water for her? You know, oh, he's too important.
Maybe he did.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Maybe he was the one that found those 2 buckets.
But honestly, if there was no controversy over the herd thing, like it would just been like, oh yeah, there's Mara, that's cool, and that would have been it.
I really don't know, because to me it's so jarring. It was so jarring when I heard her, like, yeah, she wasn't even acting. But she's very good. She's good in some things. I think she's I'm struggling now. She's good in The Stand, actually. I quite liked her in that.
She's good in Aquaman.
Yeah, she's actually decent in Aquaman. Yeah, I think she's better in Aquaman than she was in Zack Snyder's Justice League. At least
she had more time too.
Yeah, so. She was one of the main characters in that. And I will say her scene with Steppenwolf was pretty cool. Like seeing her use her powers the way she was trying to get the water, out of him and stuff. And
she had an accent. She had an accent too.
It was just
more faithful to the character and did justice to the fans for the character than actual like canceling her or like getting her out of the film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's part of it.
Well, for me, it was honestly, it was. I think I'm not.
You admit that, okay?
Yeah. Well, no. For me, it was a reaction to the way she was playing the character, which was very different, literally from a different part of. Her accent was from a completely different, and then her speech was weird as well. Like I just didn't believe it, and that's just how I felt about it. And you liked it, and that's fine. I'm not again. This is not about me not liking Amber Heard, because I could not care less about Amber Heard. No, but actually, what I know that if it does feel like this is me kind of shitting all over Amber Heard, but yeah, you need to stop rolling that clip now. We've got it. We got it. We got it, James.
We've been talking a lot about Amber Heard.
Stop whining.
And Reese, I agree with you. She's good in Disturbia. That's one film she's good in. She's good in Disturbia. So you're not sure. You think Denzel Washington is You're kind of like, well, okay, whatever.
I mean, it sounds believable only because of the personal ties I think he kind of has. So yeah, I believe that's possible.
Yeah, and what about the apparently now that this is going into like the stuff that I'm really not sure about. Liam Hemsworth reportedly playing the Green Arrow in talks to play the Green Arrow in the DCU. No,
that's my response to that.
Oh man, seriously.
I think I know the source of that. So yeah,
is it? Who is it? Who's the source?
Who came up with that story?
Was it Daniel? Was it Daniel?
It probably was.
It probably was. And then Helen Mirren's playing the villain apparently in Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Have you heard about this?
I think that's a real story though.
This is a real story, yeah.
I believe that's a real story. Yeah,
yeah, that's a real story. Yeah, that's the end. That's the end of. I called it Tales from the 4chan. Was the little bit on small screen, which
you like an intro now. For that. Yeah, that's
Tales from the 4chan.
That's on my list.
But the thing is, I was looking at this a massive list, and one of the other things is that apparently Saoirse Ronan and Millie Bobby Brown are being eyed. It literally. Well, I went over okay, actually, I'll go over it now. The number of people that this leak puts into, like, okay, I mentioned the Robert Rodriguez one yesterday, but here we go. Marvel and Feige have interest in Millie Bobby Brown, Saoirse Ronan, John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, Liam Hemsworth, Jonathan Groff, Anya Taylor-Joy, Regé-Jean Page, Ana de Armas, Gary Oldman, and Keanu Reeves for future roles in upcoming projects.
Everybody.
Yeah, literally.
Oh, they got Keanu Reeves in there. What about Ryan Reynolds?
No, Ryan Reynolds isn't in there, but Ryan Reynolds is already he's already in the MCU.
He could play Wolverine. I mean, I'm sure someone would put that out there as a scoop.
Ryan Reynolds
under their Patreon.
Do you mean Ryan Gosling?
No.
So Ryan Reynolds plays both Wolverine and Deadpool in the MCU.
Yeah, I could see that showing up on a Patreon.
Oh, okay, so this is again. We're talking about somebody. I get what you're doing.
Funny.
But, yeah. So
that's
one of the last bits of this. I when I first read it, I was like, "What?" But then I reread it. I was like, "Actually, I read it wrong." Yeah, and I thought it said the Wakanda series will be a prequel about Wakanda, but actually, what it says is the Wakanda series will be a prequel about the foundations of Wakanda. So I was like,
okay.
the first time I read it, I was like, what? Yeah, of course.
That's Coogler's getting a series together for that, right? Is that what he's doing for Disney?
Yes.
He's executive producing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
So,
as the Red Ranger says, Marvel wants all of Hollywood in the MCU. Probably not all of Hollywood, but they want most of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I don't do too many casting like scoops or anything like that. Like, I mean, I did put out the John Boyega story, you know. So
yes, you did.
We'll see if he gets it, and that's you know.
It was that you put out the John Boyega story, and that was first featured on small screen, wasn't it? Like your tweet.
Yeah, I think
putting you on the map, man.
That did kind of, you know.
Right, well, that's all the news and stuff we have for you. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. It's been a pretty chill show compared to the usual stuff. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, you're getting mad at me for clips, so I had to cool it.
I'm not honestly. I'm not getting mad at you. It's just that one clip is a bit long, and
cool it, Sanchez, or you'll get a knuckle supper.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not very proud of it.
Oh, no. You brought up Hurt. I thought you were cueing me.
That's what it felt like, yeah.
And then the fans said, "Bring up the clip." So you know, you got to please your audience.
You got to get the fans ask, they shall, you know,
give the people what they want.
Keanu Reeves for the Silver Surfer. That is all. That would be interesting casting, but again,
he could do it really well.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Oh yeah,
I'd like to see it.
Great.
Make no expression at all. Yeah.
Freddie did have this question.
Freddie, man, I don't know. We got a name for it. I think the Matrix Regenerations or something like that, or something. Yeah, and that was again from Daniel RPK. So,
yeah. But there is Freddie. There was one thing where when they started shooting, Keanu had his long hair, and then throughout the film he loses his hair, so it looks like he might be in a recluse, and then they come get him back, right? Kind of like a rehash of the first one.
Yeah,
so that's what I've been able to gather.
And it's going to be coming to HBO Max, isn't it? That's like the big news about that. So
day and date release.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. I hope it's good. Apparently, it was a really good shoot, which is what everyone's saying. I think
I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Abdul Mateen II in there. I think he's gonna be good in it. They got a good cast. Yeah,
they got a really good cast. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'll end it there. Thank you so much, Sil, for joining. Where can we find you?
Find me. Well, go to subdual.com. That has all my social media links and
revamp
pages there. And so definitely, if you missed my interview with Samba TV earlier, they're the only people that cares about Snyder Cut numbers, apparently. So they put that out. So check out their channel.
I care about what.
Well, as far as people in the out there.
Yeah, I don't put like algorithms in people's TVs, unfortunately. So I don't have. I'm not privy to those numbers.
That'd be scary if you do that.
Yeah.
Put some algorithms in your TV.
That's what they do. That's what they do.
I know. Just uncomfortable when you say it. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you should definitely go and check out your interview with Samba TV. So Dr. Jeffrey Silverman. Silverman. Okay, and you can follow Small Screen everywhere at Small Screen Co. That's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And go and check out the site as well, which is at small-screen.co.uk. And also Friday, you'll be back for Super Team Megaforce. Yeah, will you?
Super Team Megaforce. Super.
And Danzig, it's been fun as well. And James, that producer James guy, whatever you go by today, that James producer guy. Where can we find?
Cool it, Sanchez, or you'll get a knuckle sign.
42.com on Twitter. 42.com, but I haven't. I've been too busy working on other stuff to do my own website. And
sorry.
Yeah. No, I love it. No, I love being busy, man. I could have done my website months ago, but I just didn't have it. Actually, I've had the domain for over a year now, and I haven't really done much. I use it for clients' temp sites, actually. So if you ever want to see what I'm working on, and for whoever, it's usually up as a temp site for them. And on YouTube, just search 42.com. Please subscribe to me. I just put up my little fun stuff there, but I want to get at least 100 subscribers. You know, I got like 30,000 views on my demolition COVID-19 video. And if you like Silicon Valley and
great show,
and Mr. Robot. I did a kind of a funny short mashup on that. So
awesome. Go and check that out.
GigaciMag.com,
Yes.
smallstaffscreen.co.uk, and Celebduel.com, and Super Team Megaforce.
Yeah. Are we gonna get Samba TV on Super Team Megaforce?
Hey, whenever we need to do that. If you
We'll be talking about that later
Yeah.
today. Phil and I are coming up with a plan.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for watching and commenting. And I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know what you're going to do, Sil. You're very welcome to come back tomorrow if you want, but I'm pretty sure
you know how it goes.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, guys. And
put the cookie down.